ride to the hustle, the pursuit of wealth. Every story, every journey, every climb from the shelf. Here's to the drive, to the fight, to pursuit of wealth.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pursuit of Wealth podcast. Here with Mr. Jace Wright himself, the one, the only.
Oh, man.
The legendary. I got to get your ego pumped up before we start every episode. My curly-haired friend.
Yes.
So today we're going to do a little bit of a recap for those that aren't in the Pursuit of Wealth group that we've started. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So just kind of share some insight on what that group is discussing. Every time we've posted like kind of reels or clips from the podcast mentioning the group, I've always had somebody reach out and be like, how do I get a part of this group? For those that are not in the group, or if you're just hearing about this group, it is an awesome group. We did cap it to 20 members. We actually made a little bit of an exception because we had about 35 people apply. So we were going to cap it at 20. We increased it a little bit, but we are capped. So we can't have any more. We're not going to bring anybody else into this initial group. But hang tight with us because this is kind of going to be a proof of concept group. And we've had a lot of interest since opening this. We may start another group down the road. So there may be opportunities coming is kind of what I want to say. But we want to make sure that we kept this group intimate and could really kind of dive in and make this impactful for those that were a part of it. So, which I think we're doing. This is only the second meetup that we've had. So we'll kind of see as this progresses out. But this meetup was all around kind of clarity. So our first get together, we got to know everybody. We kind of got to understand what everybody's definition of wealth was. We had a few other questions, got to know their life, their personal things going on. And one renounding response about freedom from the first, or wealth from the first get together, was everybody kind of defined wealth is time freedom of time. And which I thought is great. And so now to really get there, we need to start with like a clear vision of what does that ideal life look like for everybody. Sometimes I think we get so busy into life, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're in a W-2 job, that you just have your head down working. And then you kind of like lift it up 10 years down the road and you're like, where am I? And is this where I wanted to be?
We talked a little bit about that last episode, and I don't know why, dude, but it's like been weighing on me pretty heavy for the past couple weeks of just like the don't forget to live concept, right? Like be all about the hustle, be all about, the growth and all that. But it's kind of funny because even in our own team, we see some of this, right? Like every team meeting, it's okay, what can we do to increase production? What can we do to get these agents to do more, to hustle more, to be motivated to do more? Yep. And it's just go, 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 which as a business you should do. Yeah. And as an individual who has goals and aspirations, you should do. But what I love about our team is we do take times to take a step back and enjoy what we're doing. Yeah. We have community events, we have team bonding things, we have lunches every once in a while, which may sound like a little taboo, I guess. Yeah. Is taboo the word I'm looking for? Like cliche? Yeah. Might sound a little cliche, but it's like, it's true. You gotta take 2 seconds and just remember to live with life, with the hustle.
Life happens on a random Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like me and Bree were talking about that this weekend. We were driving up to my parents' cabin. Or actually we're driving home. And anyway, we're like, we're all about going and creating memories and spending money and going on vacations and doing all that stuff, which is great. And the kids remember that stuff. But we're also like, the most impactful things is the random, or not even random, but our Wednesday morning walks around the river and getting bagels. Like life happens. Those little moments are where life really happens. And those are the things that your kids are going to really remember. Like they're going to also remember the trips, but that's like 1 week out of the year, What are you doing on a weekly basis? The little things. What does your like just regular week look like? How are you making your mundane life enjoyable?
And I think that's one thing you can ask yourself, like, am I free? Like if you have to ask that question, I think first of all, like you probably aren't. Yeah. But if I was to define it in one scenario, I would say I can wake up on a random, let's say Thursday morning, and decide not to go to work that day. Yeah. No one's going to fire me. No one's going to, not use me, whatever. Like I can decide to do that. Now there's repercussions with that consequence. I don't think you're ever going to be able to avoid that, even if you are fully retired or, if you just decide not to do anything that day, you're going to have to make up some of the work that you would have done at some point. Mm-hmm. But I consider that freedom.
Yeah.
If I woke up tomorrow and decided I didn't want to go to work that day and I wanted to stay home with the kids, like, you could do that.
Yeah.
Do you have the finances to do that? Do you have the schedule to do that? Do you have the job to do that? And that's what we're trying to get to.
And that was kind of the conversation that we kicked off with. It was that quote. Warren Buffett has a quote that goes something like this, but it's basically like, time freedom is pointless without money, and money is pointless without time freedom.
Love that.
Because I've seen both extremes. I've seen people that have a lot of money but can't take any time off. They're trapped. They don't have the time freedom, but they make a ton of money.
Yep.
And then you see the other person that has all the time freedom. They coach their kids little league. They spend time at home. Like, they're always present, but they also don't have any means. They don't have money, so they can't go create the memories, or their family has that looming stress financially. And so most men, I'm going to say men or female, but we're going to say men here. Most men, they can get one. They're pretty good. Like, men are pretty good at like getting one or the other. It's like they either work a ton and have no time freedom, or they're really good at kind of being a bum, having the time freedom, but just not knowing how to make money. And so it's that gap. It's what's really impressive is somebody that can, when you can do both.
Yep.
And you need both. It's like it's no fun to have just one of them. And it's really no fun to have neither of them. That I think is also a really sad thing when you have no time freedom and no money. Like, you're working really hard and getting nowhere.
And I think that's where clarity comes in and what you're trying to get at. Because if you don't have an ideal lifestyle that you're shooting for, you're just going and there's no end in sight. You wake up in the morning, you hustle every day. And then, like you said, in 10 years goes by and you're like, I'm doing the same thing. Like, I'm tired because I'm hustling. I haven't seen, a lot of extracurriculars. I don't get to go on vacations. You're just go, 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 go. That's a life without clarity.
100%.
Same on the other side of the spectrum. If you're not working at all and you're just trying to get by and 10 years goes by and you still got the same habits and spending habits and you're changing jobs every 2 years because you're just trying to make ends meet, you have no clarity in your life. You're not shooting for anything. Yeah.
You're just going where the wind takes you.
Yep.
And that's what I want. That was the whole premise of this get together, was to kind of break that. Like, we don't want the wind to I don't want you to just get 10 years down the road and be like, is this where I wanted to be?
Sure.
It's not. And now you just wasted a decade. It's so powerful if you can create that clarity for yourself up front. And, a few years ago, I was working harder than I ever had, hustling, like 2020, 2021, building a brokerage. I got into building a brokerage because I had no clarity. I didn't have any decision filter. It was just an opportunity that came, and I was saying yes to every opportunity that came to me. And then, I don't look at it as a waste of time, but 2 years went by. I learned a ton, and I looked up and I'm like, this isn't the life that I want. I'm not. And if I continue down this path, looking ahead at everybody else that has continued down this path for 10 years, they're not living the life that I want.
I freaking love that approach, because that is the key. If you want the secret to finding something that you're going to enjoy, you look at somebody who's done it and then do it. And if someone who has done it doesn't have the lifestyle that you want, like you said, then don't do it.
Yeah.
A life without clarity, I'm going to say this is important. A life without clarity, when chasing the dream, revolves around the status you get when chasing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to call you out on it, but maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe when you built a brokerage, there was a little status chasing there.
100%.
I remember when I was first an agent, after my first year, I'm like, I'm going to start a team.
100%.
That's the next step up in this chase.
Yep.
I quickly realized there's no way in hell I want to start a team. There's no way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when you have clarity, you don't care about the status. You don't care about what everybody else thinks. You're just going and shooting for the life that you want to live.
Yes. You take the ego out of the equation when there's clarity, and you can, and then you have a decision filter that you can base it on, because you now know where you're heading, and you can make decisions based on whether or not that's getting you closer or going to help you achieve the life that you actually want. Yep. But you can never do that. You can never make those decisions until you have a clear vision of where you want to go. And I'm passionate about this because even, looking back, it's like, I didn't have a ton of clarity. I was just grinding. My goal was just to make money. Mm-hmm. And
which is not a bad goal. I'll preface it by saying that.
Sometimes that's the phase you need to be in.
Yep.
Sometimes that's a season of life where it's like, hey, if you're struggling, creating clarity around where do I want to be and what's my ideal life in 5 years, that's not really the conversation you can have. You need to go be like, how do I make more money to get out of this hole? And then you can have this conversation. But so I'm like, yeah, I think we're in a position where that was what needed to happen for a few years. Just go out and take every opportunity and make money. Mm-hmm. But then you come to a point where it's like, okay, now I've got a little bit of stability here. Is this the right path that I want to go down? Or what is the life that I actually wanted to live? Mm-hmm. And I think we, like subconsciously, I kind of knew that, because if I didn't, I would have been spending all the money that I was making. But I knew at the core, even if I didn't have a clear vision of it, was I don't want to be working forever. And I do want freedom. And so I'm going to make money, and I'm going to try to save a lot of my money. And because I want options. I want options in the future. But even today, I'm like, I caught myself even the last, 2 years. I'm like, what am I really building? And am I really getting to the life that I want? Because I've created more time freedom within my life. But I still have all these like pressures of things that I want to do. And I really need to get clear, because we have our hands in a lot of cookie jars. Mm-hmm. And so now I've been like on this kick of, okay, where is it that we actually want to go? And now me and Bree sat down, we have a financial number that we're shooting for and a lifestyle that we kind of want to get to. And then it's like, okay, well, where then do I need to allocate my time? What things do I need to focus on growing to be able to get us there? And that helps you create that decision filter. Mm-hmm. And so for this mastermind that we just did with everybody, that's where we started. We started with, there's kind of 5 categories. Sorry, I've had this cough for the last week. But you start with 5 categories. So your finances, financial, physical, relational, time, and legacy. Okay. And it's, what does your ideal life look like in each of those categories? So I had everybody like, it sounds cheesy, it's a cliche, close your eyes. Everything went right for the last 5 years. What does your life look like in each of these categories? If everything went right, just how you wanted it to, where would you be financially in 5 years? Where would you be physically? What could your body do? What were you capable of? How do you look? Relationships. How is your marriage? What is your relationships with your kids? What is your relationships with your friends? How do they perceive you? Time. What does your time look like 5 years from now? What is that? I put like, what does a perfect Tuesday look like? It could be Wednesday for me. Like the day of the week that I try to have flexibility is Wednesdays. So what does that perfect Wednesday look like? Mm-hmm. Is it going to the gym? Is it sleeping in? Is it going on a walk with the family, grabbing a coffee, doing a podcast? Like, what does that perfect day look like 5 years from now? And then like, what kind of legacy do you want to have 5 years from now? And like long-term legacy. When a lot of people think of legacy, what do they think about?
Probably just what they leave behind. They're like, what are they going to be remembered for at their funeral?
Yeah. And I think that's the important part. I think a lot of people, when you think of legacy, they're like, I just want to leave a legacy. And it's usually financial.
Sure.
They're usually like, I want to go create, this portfolio or these assets that I'm going to leave behind. It's going to be my legacy that I leave. I think the most important thing you can leave behind is impact. And it is going to be like, how many people show up to your funeral? How many people did you actually impact while you're here for the better? And that's going to be perceived at like how many people show up to your funeral.
And how crazy, like, I'm probably going to sound really stupid here, but I'm going to say it anyways. I've thought a lot about this because in the real estate world, we'll say that we're involved in a lot of transactions. Yeah. A lot of it's estate sales that involve significant amount of money that's being divvied out to different kids and different things like that.
Yep.
I've come to the opinion that I would rather leave a legacy of being remembered by impacting the world, not necessarily financially. I care more about that and the impact I had on my kids relationship-wise than the amount of money I leave them.
Yep.
For multiple reasons. Number one, I kind of want them to struggle. I want them to learn. I don't want, a freebie for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I prioritize the relationship over everything else.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
No, I think it's going to be so valuable for your kids to know that you prioritize the relationship over anything else.
It could be a poor man's excuse.
No, that is something I struggle with a lot. Is this the excuse? No, I think you're right. I think this is where I go back and forth, is because I agree. The impact is like, how many people can you actually impact when you leave? I think leaving money, if you're talking about impacting the masses, for me to go, like, I could go volunteer at the soup kitchen once a week with my time. And that's somewhat impactful. Or I can volunteer in the community.
Mm-hmm.
If I make enough money that I can just write $100,000 check to the soup kitchen or whatever charity, that's probably going to be more impactful long term than me going to volunteer my 1 hour a week or whatever. And so I go back and forth. I'm like, I think working hard and creating wealth is ultimately going to be impactful, more impactful than you can than with just your time. But that's like on the masses. Now with your kids, I think it's a different story. With your immediate family, it is more impactful to spend time with them, create memories with them than it is to leave them money. And I am very passionate about that because I want my kids to be set up. I want them to not even set up. I want them to have options.
Sure.
I never want their back to be against the wall, but I definitely don't want to just have them be able to make money and live off dad and never make anything of themselves.
Right.
So like, that's a very hard thing to balance, but I want to create that for them. But I think spending money, like I'd rather spend money and create memories with them while we're here, while they're young, or even when they're early on or later in life, create memories with me while I'm here versus just leave them money and be like, and go, you know, hopefully this helps you. And by the time I pass away, you know, it's like my kids are going to be, you know, let's say 20 years younger than me. So if I'm 60, they're 40, getting a big chunk of money at 40, it's like, yeah, that's impactful, but you've already kind of lived almost half your life too. So like I'm the opposite of, I'd rather structure something where you can help them early on, you know, when they are struggling the most. Hey, if you're planning to leave your kids money, give them the check at like 25 and like actually impact their life moving forward. Like give them a jump start versus
them waiting for you to die so they can finally get your check.
Finally, Dad, you feeling okay? Like, dude, and that's sad because there are people that wait for their parents to die. Sure. And that is absolutely like, I do not want that. So it's like, if you want to help them out, hopefully you can get it in a way where you can help them out early on. Yeah. And then second is, I think your kids are they would be happier you spending majority of the money to create memories with them while you're here than just getting a check from you while you're gone. Yeah. And being like, okay, well, I can go do some stuff with my family, but like, I'd really have wished to enjoy this with my parents and my kids creating memories with their grandparents. And so it's kind of a side tangent there, but, so I think figuring out what your ideal life looks like 5 years from now is important. And you could extend that out to 10, 20, 30 years. I think 5 years is good because like so much can change in 5 years. So much. And like create that 5-year plan, 5-year vision of where you want to be. And then you're going to look at this again in maybe 3 to 5 years and be like, hey, things have changed. I'm here now. And now my vision of the ideal life has kind of changed a little bit. So you want to revisit this. The other thing that we went to is like, okay, once you write down that 5-year vision of all those categories, now it was like, are you on the same page with your spouse?
Such an important question.
Does your spouse know your 5-year financial goal? Does your spouse know, really honestly, does your spouse know your 5-year vision of your ideal life? And is it on the same page with their ideal life? And I encourage them to go and do this exercise with their spouse at home, like have them do it and figure out have her write out what her ideal life looks like in 5 years. And it could be different from yours, and that's okay. But what is the same, and how do you guys help each other get to each other's ideal life? Because your ideal life might be, I want to be on the golf course 4 days a week. Right. Chelsea isn't going to be like, oh yeah, I want to be on the golf course 4 days a week. You know? Definitely not. Definitely not. She's going to have some other vision of where she wants, like what her perfect Tuesday looks like and what life would be looking like in 5 years. So you need to know that and be like, hey, how do I help create the ideal life for both of us? Mm-hmm. So I want to get what I want, but I also want to achieve, like get to a point where you can have what you want as well. And then you're working together in unity to get to the ideal lives that you both have. And that's where you get the financial number from, is like, okay, well, how much does it cost for me to be living my ideal life and for you to be living your ideal life? Mm-hmm. Okay, we need $15,000 a month, of spendable cash for this. Cool. Now you both have a aligned vision to, Jace is going to go work hard to get to this 15 grand, because when he does, that's coming in passively, like we can both really live this ideal life that we want. That's how you kind of back into it. But I see so many people that, especially on the male side, it's like they're the provider. So they're just like, they have a vision of where they want to go. And I just want to get to, $10 million net worth. Okay, well, why? And does your spouse know why? And is she on board? And is it going to get her what she wants too?
And are you both willing to do what it takes to get there?
And then you're both going to be more willing to do what it takes to get there if you're both in alignment of what it's going to get you.
Yep.
Because that's it's really hard to ask someone to sacrifice if they're like, for what?
Yep.
What am I sacrificing for? If I don't know, then yeah, I'm going to buy. Well, dude, I want a boat right now. Because why would I not get it right now?
Mm-hmm.
What's better? So you got to have that vision of what is better so that you can make decisions or like what the future could look like if you make the sacrifices today. Otherwise, you're never going to want to make the sacrifices today.
Yeah.
So getting on the same page with your spouse was kind of the next side. Then it was building your clarity filter. And this was, I had everybody write down 15 goals. So what are you, like anything, fitness, health, financial, relationships, could be anything. What are like just 15 goals they had? So you wrote down 15 goals. Some people, it's really hard to write down 15 goals. Some busted out the 15 goals really quick. It could be like getting a truck. It could be anything. I said, don't think about it too hard. Just write down 15 goals that you have. And then it was like, now you got to circle the top 5. And everything else gets put on hold. Because you can have anything you want. You just can't have everything you want. And so that, like, even for me, it's like there's things that I want right now. Like one of my goals is I want to get into the best shape that I've been in. And I'm working really hard towards that. This season of life, I also want to get good at golf. Like I enjoy going golfing and I hate when I can't like keep up with my buddies. Mm-hmm. So like that's been a goal, is like I want to get better at golf. Well, right now, it's going to be really hard to do both of those things. Because if I have extra time in the day, I'm either I'm going to go work out or I could go golf. But it's going to be really hard to do both. So, I've got to decide what one in this season that I'm in, and it's going to change. Every season can change. But this season that I'm in right now, what are my top 5 priorities? Knowing that I can't have 15 priorities. So, but if I narrow it down to 5 and I spend the next year focusing on those 5 goals, I can probably achieve them. And then I can pick another 5. But we try to do everything at once, and then nothing actually ever happens. And so,
yeah, I love that.
That was just to kind of help clarity. And then with that, once you have your 5 main goals, we created 1, 3, and 5 year targets based on, okay, your 5, like if your top goal is to get into shape, where do you want to be in 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years? If one of your top goals was to start investing or save $100,000, whatever that was, okay, well, what do you need saved in the next 12 months, 24 months, and 36, or like 3 years, and then 5 years? And once we kind of knew where those targets were, we created 3 non-negotiables. So related to each one of these pillars: financial, physical, and relational. So based on the target that you set for these, what is a non-negotiable that you need to do on a weekly basis to make sure that you're progressing towards your goal? Because, one of my coaches once told me, he's like, you don't get what you want, you get what you must have. And must-haves are non-negotiable. They're non-conditional. It's like one thing, I must go to the gym 3 days a week. It's like, no matter what, like that has to happen. Or I must have a date night with my wife each week. An opportunity comes up, and let's say my date night's Tuesday night, something happens on a Tuesday night, like I don't go. Like that opportunity goes to somebody else if it needs to happen that night, or I schedule. If they can't reschedule, then it's not getting put on my calendar. Like I'm just going to say no to that opportunity. Because you got to have some, and it's crazy. These little these little non-negotiables, they stack up over time. And they're going to, without thinking, you're going to progress towards your goals based on these. So like relation, it's like, I just want a strong relationship with my wife. Well, if your non-negotiables, you go on a date night once a week, ultimately give it 12 months, you're going to have a stronger relationship. And it's just, that's like 1 hour a week that you're committing, 2 hours a week, maybe.
That's why I like how you broke it down. Because when you look at the goal, like for example, like I want to have a better relationship with my wife.
Yeah.
you don't really know what to do. And then when you go do the one thing and it doesn't immediately change, you give up on it. And that's why a lot of people give up on their goals.
100%.
So I love that you broke it down like, okay, what's a non-negotiable when it comes to fitness? 3 days a week. Okay, I'm at the gym 3 days a week. Well, yeah, over the course of a year, if you're consistent with that, you're going to reach a goal that you never thought you could have.
100%.
And I love that.
Could even
so
be
smart.
It was even like some guys were like, I'm just going to work out, 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes. And it can't be like, and I told him, I'm like, when you set that goal, you realize that you're going to work out 30 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be at the gym.
Yep.
It can be a 30-minute walk outside. You can do 30 minutes of some push-ups and some sit-ups. Like, you can't make it. A lot of people give up on these things too when it's conditional.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go work out for 30 minutes a day. Well, it's like if a day comes up that you can't get to the gym, you're going to say, oh, well, I just couldn't get to the gym.
Yep.
It's like, well, no, you could still do something at home. You got to make these things like, make sure that you can stay consistent with them because they will compound over time.
What was cool, so my dad probably had to have been almost 5 years ago, created like a group chat with a bunch of people who wanted to do it. And he's like, okay, we're going to do 10 push-ups a day.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to do. And we would just send an like strong arm emoji to the people in the group to be like, okay, we did it. Like we did our 10. And each strong arm emoji meant 10. Well, quickly, after about 6 months of consistency from doing that, my dad's sending, 7, 8. He's doing 80 push-ups a day versus 10.
Yep.
He's doing 100 push-ups a day versus 10. I think there was one day he did like 160 push-ups or something like that.
That's awesome.
That's what daily consistency can do for you, even if it starts small. So I love the 30-minute thing, because that will naturally turn into more.
100%. But give yourself something that you can stay consistent with.
Yeah.
And then you can progress from there. And it's hard because a lot of the times we think that the little progress, because it's not as noticeable and it's not as quick, we just don't think it's as effective.
Right.
But ultimately, like, if you could go to the gym for 2 hours, but if you only do that for a month, you're not going to get any results either.
Right.
So it's not about like how much time, it's about consistency. Just like investing. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I can put $100,000 into an investment account, but then if I never do anything again, I mean, it's going to compound, but it's going to be slower versus like, hey, if I can just commit to $1,000 a month forever, I'm going to get a way bigger nest egg at the end, way bigger result. So choose something small that you can stay consistent with and let those activities compound over time. So we had those, and then we got into a group. We just kind of did a group share. I had everybody share their non-negotiables that they came up with, because I think it's impactful. And we got into groups of 5, and there was one group. I mean, they wrote down each other's non-negotiables. And they're going to follow up with each other.
I love that.
Hold each other accountable. Like, hey, you said you wanted to invest. How is it going? Somebody in that group, I heard they wanted to invest. They started at 20% of their income. Then they were doing math. They're like, maybe I'll commit to 10% because they haven't even started investing yet. There was one that was like, hey, I want to invest $5,000 a month this year. Like, awesome. So, and now they get to hold each other accountable. There's a lot of workout, physical stuff too, which I thought was cool. So we group shared, and then every group got together and we just shared a few from each of the groups to everybody knew where everybody was at. And on that, we didn't have it actually in this filter, but part of that, before we made the non-negotiables, we created your decision-making filter. It was 3 to 5 questions that you could ask yourself that when making everyday decisions, that would help you now that you know where your ideal life is and the top 5 priorities that you have. What are 3 to 5 questions you could ask yourself when any opportunity comes up or any decision needs made? You could ask yourself to quickly determine what your response should be to this decision. And there were simple decision making filters. So one of the people in the group, they wanted one of their goals was to show that spend more time with their kids and make sure that they knew they were a priority. So one of his decision making filters is, does this show my boys that they're my priority?
Love that.
Because if it doesn't, I probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that's easy because it's like, well, if he's at work and he asks himself that, well, he's not supposed to be with his boys right now anyway. But if he's at home and something comes up and he's clearing through that filter, does this show my boys that they're a priority? No, I should probably not be on my phone right now because I need to be with them.
Smart.
Like these little things that you can just ask yourself, they'll again compound over time, and you're going to get the result that you want. Because the more you ask yourself that and you say no to these little distractions and you are spending time with your boys are going to feel like they are your priority. And so and there was some great, there was one guy it was simple. He's like, am I just being lazy? That was the question he's going to ask himself. When something comes up, am I just being lazy? If he was like, he's wanting to go to the gym, his alarm goes off or something. I didn't get to bed early enough, all this stuff. But if he first asks himself before a decision's made, am I just being lazy? Probably. I can go. Like, so little things, a work opportunity comes up. Should I go do it or not do it? Am I just being lazy? Oh yeah, maybe I should just go do that. You know? So those little things that if you just ask yourself on a daily basis when things come up, they're going to help you get to whatever goal it is that you set. And so it was cool to see everybody's kind of different questions that they came up with for their decision filters. And then the last thing that we did was we wrote a letter to our future self. So 12 months from now, you held yourself accountable to your non-negotiables. You base your decisions off your decision filter. What does life look like 12 months from now? And we wrote a letter to ourselves as if everything had happened. Like, hey, like and I was like, have fun with it. Like, hey dude, I'm so proud of you for sticking out the gym 3 days a week. I bet our body feels so much better. I bet we probably like looking at ourselves in the mirror a little bit more now. And dude, how have date nights been going with the wife? I bet our relationship feels so much stronger. And I'm glad we decided to spend more time with the kids. They're, a year older now. They're probably going to really remember this time that we've spent over the last year. Getting really personal like that, writing it to yourself, and then had everybody fold it up, put it in an envelope, put their address on it. I'm going to hold them, and I'm going to mail them out to them 12 months. So 12 months from now, they're going to get a letter that they wrote from themselves. And it's going to be really cool because they did follow what
really
they said.
Eye-opening.
Or really discouraging because it's going to talk about the life that they could be living had they kept their promises to themselves 12 months ago. And so
it's a great exercise.
Yeah, it was cool. And I'm excited. Everybody participated, which was awesome. Like even in the beginning part where it's like, close your eyes. Everybody close their eyes. We played some music. We kind of went on this little journey of envisioning that ideal life that they had. And it's cool to see everybody come in and participate and really open up during the conversation. Like, hey, what kind of anything in particular that came to mind that you want to share with the group from doing this exercise or doing that? And they would share some thoughts, and it was just cool to kind of see everybody else's thoughts and then goals and what they're struggling with and what they're trying to get better at. So it was awesome. I thought it was a really good event. Excited to kind of build on this from here.
I'm glad you went over it because anybody listening to this, listen to it again. You can do these activities.
100%.
You don't have to be a part of the group to do these. I strongly recommend, like I said, listening to it again, following it step by step. Do the same thing. Do these activities for yourself, and it will make an impact on your life.
100%. If, if you're listening to the podcast and you've gotten this far into this episode and you would like these activities, I've got a workbook that goes through the activities. I'll send that to you. I've also got a recorded presentation that maybe I'll be open to sending to you as well. So shoot me a DM. You can DM us on Instagram or you leave us a comment on YouTube, whatever, if you want that. And we'll get you a copy so you can go through those exercises. Be happy to share that. Because I do think it's impactful. I think it's really groundbreaking when you can create this vision, not only for yourself, but with your partner, and then start building on it together.
Yeah. I love it.
Super, super fun. With this too, we finally, so you'll know, we're getting together. We're going to put workouts together twice a week. Brendan's going to kind of run some group workouts, mostly on the cardio side. We'll be doing some runs and track workouts, but then also maybe a group once a week, a group kind of lifting workout if we can get into the Apple. So that'll be kind of cool. And then I'm going to we're getting together for our first event outside of just the mastermind group. The big UFC card is this weekend. So I'm going to host it and everybody's welcome to come. We'll get together outside of just the business talk and mastermind stuff. So excited for where that group's going. I think just realizing, dude, you are a product of your environment. And if you want to improve your life, you need to get around a group of people, and you need a tribe. Like you need a tribe of people that you can truly talk to about your goals. One thing when we were going through this, one of the members said was, dude, this feels weird, feels uncomfortable writing this stuff down. And a lot of it was like when they're writing their 5-year vision and their goals, it's uncomfortable writing it down. And I'm like, and I was like, does anybody else feel that way? And they're like, feels weird kind of writing it down. A lot of the times we don't want to write our goals down because then it's a commitment. Mm-hmm. We want to keep them in our head.
So no one else knows what it is.
So nobody else knows what it is. And it's an easy out for us because it's like, well, I didn't achieve that, but I never really said I wanted to achieve that.
Right.
So like I didn't fail because I never said I wanted to do that. When you write it down, you're saying that you want something. You want an outcome. When you write down your financial goal, your physical goal, like now these are outcomes. These are things that you want. You wrote them down. Now are you willing to go get them? Yeah. Are you willing to do the activities to actually hold yourself accountable to do them? And Jordan Peterson, he talks about that. It's a lot of the times we don't want to tell other people or even commit ourselves to certain goals because then our chance of failure becomes real. Mm-hmm. When it's in our head, it's not real because we haven't really set the goal. We haven't really committed, and it's an easy out. We can easily negotiate with ourselves and be like, well, we didn't really want that. But when you write it down or you tell somebody,
it's game changer.
Now it's
total like game changer.
But I also think it's such a benefit when you can tell other people about what you're trying to do.
That's why, you said it already, the tribe's so important because I think a lot of the reason that we hold back on writing stuff down or telling other people is fear of rejection, fear of being made fun of for those goals. If you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are in the grind, like my goals are not going to be the same as somebody who wants to make $10 million next year. Yeah. Right. So I would feel probably a little bit like lesser than because I'm not doing as much work as the person next to me. Yeah. Right. But having the tribe of supportive people that can support you in whatever goals you set for yourself and your family is critical. I think that's huge.
When you can get it around and knowing, and you've got to know yourself. Yep. You got to truly know yourself. And that's why we start out with the clarity of what does your ideal life look like in 5 years? Because everybody's ideal life is going to look different. Yep. And it's cool. And then being comfortable in your own skin. When I mean like comfortable in your own vision of what you want your life to look like. Because your vision of where you want to be in 5 years and where I want to be is going to be completely different. Sure. But that doesn't mean like I can still support you and be like, dude, I want you to get to where you want to be. And you can, vice versa. You can say, hey, I don't want to do that, but like, dude, you go crush it and let's get you to where you want to be. It was cool to see a group. It's like you got guys that have zero investment, zero savings really. And they're like, hey, their goal was, I want to just start saving 10% of my income. And then you got another guy at that same group that's like, I need to get more, like, I want to invest $100,000 this year. Like completely different spectrums, but they're both cheering each other on.
Oh, I love that.
It's like the guy that's wanting to invest a ton is like, dude, how can I help you even just get started? And the other guy's like, dude, I want to, if there's anything I can do to help you invest that or, whatever, like support you. They would just want to support each other. And so you don't have to be, it doesn't have to always be people that are directly around where you're at. Mm-hmm. Just getting around a positive group of people that are going to support you in whatever your vision is, I think is super, super impactful. And the other thing is just having a group that you can share with, that you can, because I think when you tell other people, when you can tell the universe what you want, it's weird. There's that, it's going to be kind of like scripture, but Jordan Peterson talks about this in that same podcast that he mentioned that we struggled saying what we want out loud was like, ask and you shall receive. And it's like, well, life can't be that easy. Like I can't just ask and I receive because I've asked for a lot of things and I haven't gotten it. But the key thing is like the more people that know about what you're trying to do, the more support and opportunities you're going to have. Yep. Because like if nobody knows you want to invest money or nobody knows that you want to eat healthy or nobody knows that you want to lose weight or get stronger, well, then how is anybody supposed to help you? I don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. How is the universe supposed to help you when it doesn't know what you want? But when you're willing to speak it, write it down, and tell people about it, you'd be amazed at like whatever it is, like the universe just lines up more opportunities for you. And you have more people around you that are going to think of ways to support you because they know the goals that you're trying to achieve. So like if you really want to hit, you're going to have a higher success rate of hitting your goals if the more people know about your goals. So it's like investing or like buying real estate. It's like nobody's going to bring me an opportunity if they don't know that I'm trying to buy real estate. But I've seen so many things come from just me saying, hey, I'm looking to buy real estate. Hey, I'm looking to invest. People know that, and then opportunities come that would have never came if I was scared to say those goals or say what I was doing. And so it's powerful just to be able to get around a group of people that you can share that stuff with and then get comfortable sharing and talking about your goals and what you're trying to do. Because you'll be amazed at how the universe rewards that.
It's true.
Seems all hippie, but it's like,
I'm an advocate for it, man. You put the good energy out there, good things happen.
100%.
Like, it's just how it works.
Yeah. I don't know how. I can't give you the science behind it.
Yep.
But it just works out.
Yep.
So
100%.
Anything else you want to add?
No,
Jace?
honestly, that was a great recap. I'm glad that we got it because honestly, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I watched the video. I watched part of the video on my way home from Boise. I need to finish it up and do these activities, so I'm involved with that. So it was a good recap.
Yeah.
Because I missed out.
Yeah.
And I was sad I missed it. But
We were sad you weren't there. It was our fault. We rescheduled it. But I'm excited for this group, dude. I'm like, it's cool to be around a group of guys. I think this group's gonna be really fun. I think we're gonna do some really fun activities together as a group. And I think that just more of this is needed, man. There's this weird, I don't know where this is gonna go, but I have a weird feeling that like as the world that we're in and as things progress, this kind of interaction, this kind of in-person interaction is going to be needed.
100%.
I feel like a lot of people feel isolated, and this is just getting a group of guys together. And dude, you could do this. If you don't have a group that you're a part of, get a group of 5 friends or post on Facebook that you want to start like a little mastermind group or just a friend group. And hey, you go on a weekly walk, go grab a weekly coffee, go grab a weekly or monthly dinner, like whatever you want. Just create something.
And right now, like we've said it before, that we're kind of capped out because of building size and there's no cost to it. And so coordination, like, but there is no limit on the people listening to this being able to be a part of it too. Correct. Like that would be probably one of the first steps if you're not a part of the group, is to start doing the things that we're already doing as the group. Mm-hmm. And then if the opportunity opens up, then you're already in it and you're already adding value to it and you're already getting value from it. Like there's no ceiling on what's being said in the podcast.
Yeah.
And the things you can apply from it. There is a ceiling with in-person stuff for right now, but we're going to work on that. That gets me excited. Yeah. Cause then the outreach goes far beyond what's behind the 4 walls.
And we can share, we'll try to do recaps of events and share everything that we're kind of doing to help the listeners that aren't a part of it. You know, hopefully it can help them progress too, to where they want to get to. But there is something special about being in person.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to try to, that is the goal of figuring out how do you scale that, because I think that is the most valuable part. The knowledge is great and you can do this stuff on your own. My goal is like, there's nothing more enjoyable in life than having good relationships.
Yeah.
Is what I found. Like,
so to reiterate, do the group, like you were saying, get a group of 5 people togetto.
Yeah.
Let this be your
baseline.
Yeah. Your baseline.
Go through these activities. I'll give you the handbook, go through these activities together, talk about it.
Yep.
Get to know each other's goals and support each other.
Be awesome.
Like,
be shocked how much it helps you.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to cost anything. Like we said, this group, we're not charging anything for this group. You get to put a group together. Don't charge anything and just see what comes of it.
Yep.
You know, I if anything, maybe just get 5 closer friends.
Yep.
That you can go do life with and have fun with. I found that like the most rewarding thing in life is just having positive relationships. And so selfishly, like this is a way for me to just go out and create more positive relationships. So that's what I love. One of the members after this last one was like, dude, this is awesome. Like this feels like you should be charging for this stuff. I'm like, that's cool. That's what I want to hear. But like, I also, this isn't something we want to charge for right now. We want to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
I'm a very big believer of like, if it is good and it's impactful, things will come of it in the future.
And
so
scalability might lead to charging just to make it run.
Yeah.
But that's not needed right now. We're not looking to make a profit.
Yeah.
So.
It's not the main goal.
Yep.
We're not a guru, social media guru or influencer where we're trying to make our money off stuff like this. We make our money other ways. These are passion projects.
We're all on the pursuit of wealth, and we just want to go through it together with everyone.
Yeah. So hopefully it's impactful for you. If you guys have any questions, if you have topics that you want us to hit, if you want the workbook or that presentation that we went through with our mastermind group, shoot us a DM, leave us a comment. We'll get you any info that we can. And continue to listen and support the podcast. Again, this is a passion project. We don't get paid to do this stuff. We do it for fun. So continue to listen. And honestly, the best thing is share these episodes. Like if we have clips on social media, follow us on social media. It's The Pursuit of Wealth on Instagram, and share any of our clips and share some of our videos with friends or family. Because that's the more listeners we get and the bigger audience we get, then the more impact we can hopefully leave. So
that's the goal.
Appreciate
everyone listening so far.
We'll catch you guys next week.
Welcome to the chase where the champions dwell. To the grind, to the hustle, the pursuit of wealth. Every story, every journey, every climb from the shelf. Here's to the drive, to the fight, to pursue the wealth.